We're talking real estate right now, specifically North Shore. I'm joined by Robert Saenz of Gibson Sotheby. Thanks for stopping by, Robert.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
You're in one of those emerging markets up on the North Shore, Lynn, Revere, Chelsea. A lot going on up in that area right now.
For sure. Don't forget East Boston.
Yeah, East Boston. That's a hot market.
Yeah, very hot. Yeah, so basically what's happening in Boston because of the interest that is being generated because of the Boston market, which has been a long time coming, is now pushing a lot of these buyers into secondary markets. And the hottest emerging market that there is right now, in my estimation, is the immediate North Shore. Because you have the casino going on in Everett. You have the East Boston waterfront, which you have the best views of the city, of course. And obviously next to that is Chelsea and Revere. And Revere, mainly because of the Blue Line. You have about 8 stops that go through Revere from East Boston all the way into the Revere Beach area, which is very hot for developers and for people who are looking to invest and have a long-term property in these areas. So it's really being driven by the demand in Boston, which is now pushing out a lot of people who can't afford in Boston into these other markets.
Yeah, the young professional that's just getting going, maybe first or second job, looking to purchase a property, have a little bit of capital to invest now. When you go into downtown Boston, it can be pretty intimidating with the prices, right?
It can be, yeah.
It's not cheap.
No.
And it's not cheap in any of these markets.
Right.
But I feel like there is opportunity in, let's say, a Chelsea, Revere, East Boston. I mean, that's a hotspot. The word is out on that.
Yeah, it's out of the bag. Mainly, a lot of the investors that are coming in that did the same thing that happened in South Boston, they're replicating it in East Boston. So really, South Boston was the blueprint to get these investors the know-how as to how to convert East Boston now into the luxury market that is becoming. You have the waterfront, which is completely renovating that whole area and is gentrifying the whole area in a way that is pushing all the long-term residents that live there. Mainly before it used to be Italian, then it became a lot of Latino mix with a lot of Colombians, which I am Colombian. So having grown up in that area, I've seen this whole transformation that's taken place over the years. And now it's just one of the hottest markets probably in all of the U.S.
The development happened on the South Shore. You brought up, the North Shore being a spot of opportunity right now. South Boston has hit, right? That ship has sailed.
Yeah, it's done.
It's in the mix. That's Boston. Dorchester is really expanding.
It's happening. Yeah.
Parts of Roxbury are starting to become hotspots. Quincy is almost like the new Southie. There's a lot of construction there. So from the North Shore side, for that person that's looking to jump into the market, that first-time home buyer price point, there is, especially condo opportunities in the 3s and 4s?
Oh, absolutely there is. Right now, for example, in Chelsea, I just sold a 2-bedroom apartment there, condo, in the Prattville area for just under $220.
Okay, so you can get it.
It's very reasonable, very reasonable. Yeah, and then for the investor, which is really the one that's driving all this change, there's a lot of opportunities. So, for example, if an investor was to pick up, a decent triple decker for around $600,000 to $700,000, they convert to condos, and a lot of times they're being able to sell these condos for anywhere between $350,000 to $400,000,
which is not the case in a lot of the greater Boston area. Right?
No.
I work with a lot of real estate investors who, were looking at Southie years ago. Sure. That's not there. Dorchester, Jamaica Plain, Roslindale, those markets have been red hot. A lot of times they're looking at the numbers and it doesn't make sense. North Shore,
totally makes sense.
There is some opportunity for that.
Absolutely, and you have just as many amenities as you do in these other neighborhoods like South Boston. The proximity to Boston from Chelsea and East Boston, Revere, and Everett is just minutes. Without traffic, let's say you want to go out at night. 8 o'clock at night, you're going to head into town, have dinner, then go out or wherever. You're in Boston literally in 7 minutes from, let's say, for example, the condo that I sold in Chelsea that I gave you the example of in Prattville. Literally in 7 minutes, you're in downtown. Like, where else can you do that?
That's unbelievable.
It's nuts. And still
at that price point.
At that price point.
At that price point.
So the same property located in, say, Back Bay or, I don't know, Charlestown even, you're looking at $500,000 to $600,000 or even more.
It's fantastic. Great opportunity up on the North Shore. Check in with Robert, or Roberto. You
it
go
could
by
be
both.
Roberto, that's what all my Spanish clients call me anyway.
If you would like to learn more. Now, flipping it to the real estate agent side, you've been in real estate for 15 plus years, so you've made it. You know what you're doing. If you're talking to, let's say, a real estate agent who's just starting out, what would be one piece of advice that you would give them to succeed in today's market?
I would say a good CRM system. There's a lot of them. So I think it might not be necessarily one specific tool out there for CRMs that you should focus on, but it should just be pick one and then work it. And being able to utilize that CRM system to follow up with all the people that you meet on a daily basis, because real estate is a contact sport. You have to talk to people. Yeah. So if you don't get out there and you don't talk to people, it's going to be difficult. But then you also have to follow up. And the tool that's going to help you achieve and better systemize your follow-up is a CRM system.
You know what I find? Coming from the mortgage side, we have a lot of CRMs that are out there, and I've tried a few, and I'm consistent with one, but that can be a double-edged sword because there's so much technology out there, right?
Sure,
everything looks good. You mess around with it. But if you're not implementing it, if you're not using it, it really does you no good.
It does no good, yeah. So that's why I think, you just got to pick one that you're going to be able to work with. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles to start out with, especially if you're a new agent, because it could get pretty expensive. But if you just pick one, pick a few features on it, and just beat the crap out of it, you're going to be able to do well.
Like you said, contact sport, blocking and tackling, right? Yeah. Forget the flea flicker.
Absolutely.
Keep it to the basics. Keep it to the basics. You mentioned sphere of influence being a major part of your business. How did you create that sphere early on in your career?
Correct. Yeah, so basically at the beginning, like any agent, you don't know where to start. So what you got to start with is your friends, your family, old high school friends, college friends, whatever it is, anybody that you meet, they got to go onto a CRM system that you can follow up with. And I think that's key, is just being able to be mindful that whoever you're talking to, you want to possibly do business with them. Or maybe they know somebody that could do business with you. So never being shy about asking for referrals, asking for people's names and phone numbers and email addresses. All those things are key, especially if you're starting out.
It's a numbers game.
It totally is.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. And if you'd like to connect with Robert and his team directly, check out robertricardo.com. And remember, this is Real Estate Powered by Hub.